Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Combat Conversations, and I'm your boy AG, and I'm joined with my partner in crime, DB. What's going on with it, baby?
Shit, I'm doing better now, man.
You doing better now? You know, after all that, yeah. We back quicker than a PBC. Hey, we was on a hiatus like PBC, and then we then came back faster than PBC. You know what I'm saying? We said we was gonna be on it. We said, you know what I'm saying? PBC fighters is still sitting out. Where Errol Spence at? The Fedora fight's off too. We gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too far into it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I did want to say happy January 17th. You know,
New Year,
the boxing world. New year, but you know, January 17th in the boxing world. You know, want to say happy birthday to the GOAT. Definitely happy birthday to the GOAT, and you know who that is, right?
Yep.
You know.
Muhammad Ali.
Nah, bruh.
Who?
Jake Paul.
Oh, fuck Jake Paul.
Bro, you didn't know. Bro, today's the GOAT's birthday. Shout out Jake Paul. Happy birthday, Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? GOAT, you know what I'm saying, in the building. And then you got some other minor boxers who have birthdays on January 17th too. And that would be obviously Muhammad Ali and Alexander Usyk. You know, so, but outside of that, it's, you know, you got a phenomenal, you know, happy birthday, Jim Carrey. You know, that's why I just told you, man. Happy January 17th. Then you got, you know, the main man in the building right here, AG, the OG, the combat connoisseur, the boxing guru in the building. You know, my birthday next weekend too, so you know, this a whole phenomenal week. So that's all I had to say. You know, that was a little birthday rant right there. You know, like I said.
Okay.
So
okay.
And you know, we back quick though. You know, it's on. Shoot, we back in less than 2 months. I'm telling you, we doing way better than any PBC fighter right now on everything. I ain't seen a PBC fighter bounce back this quick, and
I mean,
I don't even know when the last time.
Man, we doing better than PBC's Golden Child Tank. I mean, shit.
Man, look, don't even get started with that. You know, we got a whole hoist. We got a hoist of things to be able to talk about in the boxing world. But before we do that, let's get to this mountain of a UFC 311 that the top kind of chiseled a little bit with the replacement fight. But all in all, 311 is still a deep card, though, is it not?
Oh yeah, it's still a good card. Still a deep card. You know, you're still gonna have good quality fights, and again, that's what we've always talked about. You know, good championship quality fights. So yeah, it sucks that the main event changed, but I mean, you still got Umar Nurmagomedov and Merab. You know, that's still gonna be a good fight. You still got Jairi and Jamel Hill. You know, that's still gonna be a good fight. Kevin Holland, you know, and then on the preliminary card, you know, that's a solid card. You know, Grant Dawson, decent fighter, you know,
right?
So yeah,
definitely got you know on the come up. But man, I was looking forward to that Islam and Arman though. That too.
Oh yeah,
that revenge tour. You know, like you said, you gain a little experience. Even if a guy's great, you gain a little experience when you in the ring with greatness. We done talked about that numerous times. You know, residuals. You know, that been the word of the episode many a times. Iron sharpens iron. We talked about that. And when you get that opportunity, especially not even in sparring, they'll talk about sparring and be like, you know, you definitely, I'm learning from him and stuff, and you are. But at the same time, they ain't no replacement for the real thing. And I think that matters for a lot of sports. And I think a lot of people would just simply agree with that. No matter what the sport is, you can train all you want. And training is important to get to that highest level. But when you in the real thing, there's no replacing it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely. And see, like in that
his
first
experience
fight
with Islam helped him.
Yeah, in that first fight with Islam, I mean, Arman gave Islam everything he could handle in that first fight, and he's gotten better since then. So, I mean, yeah, again, you know, that it's unfortunate that he pulled out, because I wanted to see, and obviously you wanted to see, but we wanted to see if he could get over that hump.
Yeah, exactly, because he's, like you said, a mountain that others have tried to climb. and they ain't been too successful, you know. And then he's come when you have those close fights, that's when you definitely want to see those rematches. And that was one of those where you felt like, okay, this is a warranted rematch, you know, not one. And we know Dana ain't one for just giving up is what they want. You know, just because you lost to the champ, don't, you know, unless your name's John Jones. But I mean, and among others too. But to the point, I mean, you know, for Armand, you know, Dana White, to me, really giving him the rematch because of it, just exactly what you said. You know, he's probably been the closest to conquer. And in that realm, it's a warranted rematch. Whereas he could get over that hump with that experience now, because if he'd have just went up in there and got mollywopped, not so certain that we want to see that rematch. Right. Not so certain we would see that rematch. And now you got old buddy stepping up who was already on the card. So that's not bad. You know, then the other guy, he gets left out in the cold, you know, whatever his name, who was fighting Renato first time.
Yeah.
Benil,
you know? Dariush.
So, I mean, you know, I don't know, he get a little payday, take a walk.
Probably.
You know,
probably got a little step aside money, you know, little something.
Hey, how come he can't be the one to fight Islam?
Nah, bro.
No.
No.
I mean, hey, just an offer, right? You know, like, nah, he got a nice little step aside money, like you said. He probably got paid the winning share. I mean, hey, what do you do? I mean, the guy gonna take that, right? That's it. Give him the money he would have got to win the fight to just not fight.
That's it.
That's a win. You take that money and you go home and you enjoy life. And then you get ready for the next fight and you even more healthy.
There you go.
That's a win-win situation.
He got a nice little payday. He's, you know, over there, and, you know, hey, he can go there and enjoy those fights. Fuck it. He ain't fighting.
Exactly. But in that co-main, no. I mean, is Nurmagomedov or whatever, you know, help me with that name. We're gonna hear it a lot on the 311 come tomorrow night. But, you know, is he a hound dog or is he a hound dog?
Yeah, he a hound dog. He like it.
I mean, I feel like you know,
I mean, at
styles
this point,
make fights, even in mixed martial artists, more so than ever. You know, you got more styles to choose from.
I mean,
if we're being honest.
No, if I'm being honest, bro, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that ghost of Khabib. But the fighters that come out of that camp, bro, whether it's Umar, Islam,
that Dagestan wrestler,
what's his face from Bellator? I mean, Usman, Nurmagomedov. I mean, fuck, dude. You know, it's like it's almost like in boxing. You know, you got, you know, Russia. They kind of taken over the combat sports in boxing and MMA, because, you know, if it's not Khabib, if it's not Islam, if it's not Umar, if it's not Usman, you know, you got Benavidez. You know, he's from Russia, even though he claims to be Canadian. You know, fuck all that bullshit.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But
we let him get WBC let him keep that belt. Oh, he Canadian.
You know, you look at Dmitry Bivol. You know,
and then you look at it, and Dmitry Bivol looks you know, completely Asian. You know, so to speak. You know, like definitely on the Chinese, or, you know, on the Vietnamese side. You know, but he's Russian. Like, you know, so he can't fight. He can't fight for the WBC. But we put all that aside because your man Turkey came in the building. So the new Dana White. But Dana White putting them on, though. Even then. So we talked about the main. We went ahead with the co-main. You know, so I'm assuming you like Islam. You know, and especially over the replacement. Not saying especially. So we know he playing with house money. So what's that mean for Islam, though? He ain't really prepared. And it's a late change, too. Real late change. Yeah. So you know, your boy fighting with house money.
That's it.
So you still taking Islam? Or you taking the guy who's about to go in there and risk everything and just take chances?
I'm still taking.
It's a dangerous man.
I'm still taking Islam.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to compare him, you know, to Tank, but because it's not even the same situation. But at the same time, it's like he's fighting somebody coming up from a different. It's one thing when he fought Volkanovski, because Volkanovski at the time he fought him was the number one pound for pound guy in the world. But it's like, do we want to see you go against other people in your division? And granted, that's what he was doing with Armand. I mean, that's out of his control when he pulls him out when he pulled out because of the injury. But I don't know. I guess, he just accepted that short notice fight, saved the card, still give fans their money's worth. But
salvage what you can.
Yeah, pretty much. Salvage what you can.
Especially and it's tough when it's the title fight. I mean, the main event fight, and you're looking at it like that, co-main, under, you just shift a couple things around. But when that main event get somebody pulled out, that's when, everything gets shaken up. But what I was getting at before is then you even got chief support, the third fight from the main event, and you looking at, like you said, Prochazka and Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, buddy, AP's leftovers. You know what I'm saying? It's housewives fighting. Who's the better leftover in the refrigerator? Right now, is that what we got? Is that what we got? The Gams fighting with the baked macaroni over who's the better leftover over Thanksgiving?
That's pretty much what it is.
Like, I mean, but still a good fight though. That's and see, we laughing, but guess what?
It's still a good fight.
I like leftovers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I eat leftovers, so I'm over here like, man, who the better leftover? The mac and cheese over here? I eat leftovers, cuz. Hey, that's it. You know what I don't eat though? It's fucking trash, and which is what we keep seeing from other the tank. Hey, we don't eat trash, bro. We might eat leftovers, but we don't eat trash. Okay, so take that to heart. Take that to the bank. Don't take that with a grain of salt. That might have been one of the coldest analogies I came up with on the fly. Okay, now take with it what you will. I eat leftovers, but I will not eat trash. Okay, so that's simply put. But 311, simply put, I mean, and it's rolling deep. 311 is rolling deep. So I think UFC.
So let me ask you this.
Got a lot.
Let me ask you this: who you got between Jiri and Hill? Who you picking between those two? Since you are an MMA enthusiast.
I got Hill all day. I got Jamel Hill all day. He about to go up in there because he got a point to prove. And look, by no means was he probably gonna get Pereira. But, I feel like his confidence level, and he talks a good game, and he could be ready to come back. He's going to convince himself that he's ready for that, and it starts now.
I'm taking Jiri.
You taking Jiri?
Yeah, because I told somebody on Twitter this the other day. One, I think Jiri's style is going to be too awkward for Hill. I don't think Hill's going to have the necessary tools in the tool bag to deal with that. And two, I don't care if his nickname is Sweet Dreams. I don't care if he's knocked out Johnny Walker and other fucking trash.
Sweet dreams, baby.
I don't think Hill will have the power to get the respect from Jiri. I simply don't. I don't think he has the power to get respect from him. I think Jiri is gonna go in there and walk him down. And then on top of that, once Hill has upped the competition, he ain't putting people to sleep. He ain't giving people sweet dreams like he used to when he was fighting mid to low tier competition. And people want to use the excuse, well, he was out with an Achilles injury. He was out for a minute with that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got Jiri who won the title.
He's coming.
Relinquished it because he was injured. Came back, knocked out Radic. So, it's like, Yuri was able to still pick up where he left off. Because again, granted, you're not going to knock out Alex Pereira,
Nah, I mean,
no.
not realistically, you're not.
No. Alex Pereira is he's on a different level, but
yeah, he's next.
When
level.
It comes to everybody else, I just feel like Yuri was able to come back from his injury, pick up where he left off, and you got Hill, who's, I mean, don't get it twisted, he still beat Glover.
Still sweet dreams.
He still beat Glover's ass, but he didn't knock him out. He didn't finish him.
Right.
When the competition has been
dreams
up,
no more.
When the competition is upped, he ain't knocking people out. He ain't giving people sweet dreams.
Right now, he's just a light workout. That's what it is.
So I just feel like
keeping people awake.
I feel like Yuri's gonna take this one.
Okay. Well, 311 is definitely upon us, so it's gonna be a definitely one this weekend, and we right around the corner. And then just to keep that ball rolling, a fight night we got in 2 weeks. Izzy back. Is Izzy trying to what's that fight at? Is that fight at light heavy? Or is Izzy still at
I still think he's at middleweight.
Okay.
I think he's still at middleweight.
Yeah, we're gonna have to run that by, because I think that one's coming on
yeah, it's still at 185.
February 1st, ain't it? Ain't that the David Benavidez Morrell date too? Same. I'm pretty sure is he fighting that date? So and that's on a fight night too, not even coming on a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
So I think is he trying to climb his way back? Where Usman? I mean, what's he doing?
I don't know what he's doing, but probably with Triple C doing their pound for pound podcast.
Right, doing what we doing right now.
Exactly.
Not fighting in the ring.
That's it.
Exactly. Critiquing from the sideline, not fighting in the ring. But it's we definitely got a banger up on us with the UFC. That is definitely no doubt. So we're gonna be on that, afterwards, giving our the reactions afterwards with the takes and stuff. So it's gonna be live. But also coming up right around that, big dates with boxing coming up big time too. So first one's that's really upon us. We got to get down with the dirty on this one, because it's basically here. And that's with the David Benavidez and David Morrell. David versus David. No Goliath in the situation. We got two winners going at it.
And again,
and I tell you what, this really this is a fight that we may have been asking for at 168, and here we getting it at 175, and there's no belt, and we still satisfied.
That's it.
We want this type of fights. And shout out PBC for putting on a complete card with this. With Fulton Figueroa too. With and I ain't even thinking of a couple of them right now. I gotta bust a card open, but it's one of those where it's warranted.
It's like I told
for them to be a solo act, I fucks with it.
It's like I told you before, cause we joke, PBC they're not putting out shows like they used to in years past, but the quality has gotten so much better. So it's almost like a trade-off. They're not putting out the shows or as many shows as they used to, but it's justified with the quality of cards that they have been putting out in the last year and a half.
Easy. And even then, I think going back to right around that Tank Ryan Garcia fight, right around that time,
I think it was way before that. It was back when ironically it was David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. I think that's what kicked that off, and then you got the Tank Garcia fight, and then you got the Tim Tszyu Fundora fight, then you got the Tank Davis Frank Martin fight with David Benavidez on the undercard.
Yep, and then didn't after Caleb Plant didn't Benavidez return or when did he beat Boo Boo?
Yeah.
Was that before Caleb or after Caleb?
It was after Caleb.
Okay, so I mean that's what I'm saying, and that was amongst that. Again, another fight we was asking to see, and put it like that. Back to I've mentioned it before, and I think a lot of people subconsciously feel this way. It's about fights that answer questions, and the question being, where are they at? What level are they on? If you feel like you already have answered questions from a fighter, then no, you may not be interested. But if you got a question among one fighter for another, that's where the fight becomes interesting. So like I said, with the Jaime Munguia fight with the Canelo, that's just an example. Like, no, we ain't asking Canelo to fight Jaime Munguia. But if he wants to campaign at 168 and you got a 42, 43-0 Mexican fighter who we feel has been ducking like Triple G and shit for the last couple years and is elite level fighter, undefeated, well, we need to see where Jaime Munguia is. Go on, let him take his whooping if we really think he's gonna take his whooping from Canelo. Berlanga, again, fight we not asking for, because we feel like we know Berlanga not ready, but he undefeated, and Canelo got to make that fight because it looks good. And back to answering the questions, but guess the question is Berlanga and Jaime Munguia on that level? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, so it's almost a waste of time. Like, there was no need for them to really fight them guys, but it's just enough for us to say, okay, because now those guys are out the picture. We could shut up about them. Because there was some Jaime Munguia talk and there's some Edgar Berlanga talk. It might have been murmurs, might have been whispers, but it was there. And they talking about it. And now that's it. Now you don't have to hear that no more. It's over. And we really kind of, after Jaime Munguia just got his ass upset again, we don't even really need to see him again. And, Edgar Berlanga probably ain't on that level. Let them fight. That might be some leftovers I don't eat. That's trash. That's Canelo's leftovers. That's trash. I ain't eating that. We don't want to see no Jaime Munguia, Berlanga type shit. Okay? But down that path I'm going is that PBC has been putting on the fights with questions, with the Frank Martin tank. Hey, we need to see where Frank Ghost Martin at, because he was getting a lot of hype. Tank, go ahead and shut that down. That's it. It answered that question. Frank Martin ain't on that level. We might have thought he was after he beat Rivera, the new Ali.
That's exactly what it was.
And that was a good fight coming up with PBC, because we wanted to see where they was at. And Frank come out on top. Like, a lot of people knew Frank Martin had talent. But at what level? Test him against Tank. That's it. Got put in his place. Took it. Rolly shouldn't have been there. Rolly got put in his place by him and many others. Okay? But you got that type of stuff, and, PBC been answering. So, and we got a David Benavidez, Morrell, Figueroa, Pitbull on the card, Ramos. It's looking good. It's looking good.
What's his name? That Kermel Moulton. I think he's going to be on that card as well. That David Benavidez and Morrell card.
Okay, gonna have to check that out, because I know like he been some.
He missed weight last time out.
Like, bro, he missed weight by like 15 pounds.
I think old buddy enjoyed.
I
think he enjoyed Thanksgiving a little too much,
bro. Just a little. Cuz ate the whole fucking turkey, bro. Cuz ate the whole turkey, cold turkey. He quit losing weight cold turkey on Thanksgiving. Double pun intended. Like, I mean, how you miss weight by that much? Like, I feel like that the discipline not there. But at the same time, who was he arguing with? Wasn't he going back and forth on Twitter with Tank? Like, come on, bro. Like, I get it. For you young, that's shine for you, and you already he one of the hottest prospects in the game in decades. Mm-hmm. And right now, to be missing weight like that, nah, that's not cool, bro. That's not cool by that much. Look, you miss weight by the Ryan Garcia weight, 2 pounds. What Ryan Garcia missed weight by 4 pounds?
3 pounds.
3 pounds. 3 pounds. Say 4. We'll go 4. 4.5. Fuck 4.5. Okay.
Hey, to Devin Haney, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Right, to Devin Haney, that is a lot. But to guess who that's not a lot to? Alexander Usyk.
Motherfucker was fighting at a 55-pound weight disadvantage. Still went in there.
55 pounds.
Still went in there and gave Fury the business.
Right. So the weight, when you got the skills that pay the bills, the weight is pushed aside. Does it come into play? Damn right. Not saying it absolutely don't. But when you better than a guy, you better than a guy. Okay? And then if you better than a guy over 2 or 3 pounds, like you better than a guy at 55, like we recognize Usyk's greatness for that. Okay? But yet you over here talking about he weighed 4 pounds more than me. And that, by missing weight 4 pounds. And let's say he rehydrated on fight night. And then Devin Haney goes up, 150-ish or whatever. And then now you done made that 4 pounds. It done turned into 10 pounds. We still at that 10-pound level, 12-pound level. When, back to what I said, 55 is pushing limits, bro. That is greatness. You beat a guy that's 55 pounds heavier than you. Where have we seen that? Like that, where? Like that's what I'm saying. That's unprecedented. So then when you got these fights that you only have 10, 12-pound difference, like the clamor shouldn't be and the argument shouldn't be, that's exactly why I lost. When it's a close fight and you go up in there and make it a dog fight, then you could say, hey, 12, 15 pounds might have got me. But you want to talk about 4? You want to talk about 9? Nah. So that, the Devin Haney Garcia rematch, apparently that's supposed to be happening late 2025. But they both want to get a prep in. I just don't think the weight makes that much of a difference when you're talking anywhere from under.
I just think
that much.
I think in the first fight with Haney and Garcia, I don't think Haney took Ryan that serious at all. And let's be honest, a lot of people didn't. Fans, media, experts alike. Ryan was doing a bunch of bullshit and nobody was taking him seriously.
Right. Nobody took his antics seriously.
Yeah. But
I feel like you should have, don't overlook his skill. They should have took his boxing skills seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. He's talking cash outside the ring and acting a fool. You can't take the antics seriously. But I feel like my point is like compare him to the GOAT, Jake Paul. Like, you don't take Jake Paul seriously. Like, I kind of get you. YouTuber coming up trying to be a boxer. But like Ryan Garcia is a boxer who really just kind of happens to have a lot of social media. Dude was a young amateur, came up, Golden Gloves, fighting in the amateurs and stuff. Dude has pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
He just happens to be social media popular and have millions of followers. Like that's the byproduct. But I feel like if you didn't say he went up in there and did what Tyson Fury did with Francis, then he deserved to get his ass whipped.
Right.
I want to say whooped and beat at the same time. He just deserved that shit. If you took him that lightly.
But like, it's not just with that, but you also got to remember too, around that same time, that's when he was going back and forth with Tank on Twitter. And if I'm not mistaken, around that time, that's when the whole footage of Devin Haney and Tank sparring, that famous, infamous footage from Floyd's gym came out. So like, I thought
you would say his burner phone.
So I feel like Haney wasn't 100%. I'm not making excuses by no means. I mean, he went in there and got his ass beat. Official's official.
Yep.
But at the same time, two things can be true. And Haney, I don't think he was 100% invested in that fight mentally because, again, he overestimated Ryan, and right. I feel like he was more concerned about Tank than focusing on Devin Haney.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening because at that same time, that was the talk. It felt like Devin Haney, we didn't talk about it, among all the peers, among all the ones that was supposed to like fight each other, the Devin Haney, Tank, Shakur, all these guys, all these contemporaries. At that time, Devin Haney was probably really on top. Ain't no really probably about it. Everybody was putting him on top of that mountain. They was definitely with the undisputed, the way he was moving with the Loma fight and all that. He was definitely the top amongst his peers. Then all of a sudden he takes that back seat. He takes that ass whooping from Ryan, and now he's in the back seat like, maybe Haney's not the best one of the group. And then right now the argument seems to be Tank and Shakur, and that's what we need set up. Answer that question. Those questions we need answered.
Absolutely. And
what I love is both of them got a fight coming up within like a month. Basically you could say that with Tank, Shakur on the February 22nd, arguably one of the greatest cards, and then Tank right around that corner on March 1st. You looking at that over a month, and bam, both of them fighting 2 weeks apart. Healing factor the same, rest factor the same, training camp factor the same. Everything sets up. No reason why they both can't fight each other after that.
Yeah, but let's be honest. They're not gonna fight though. They're not gonna fight.
I mean, how long we gonna milk this? We got Bud Crawford and Errol Spence on our hands.
Well, I don't even think that, because apparently Tank's retiring after this year, cuz. I don't.
After this year, you're right. And but didn't he was saying if it could go down this year, it could go down this year. Like he's saying, I'm retiring after this year, but if it could go down this year, it could go down. That's it. I want it next fight. We need it next fight. Go ahead and knock off Lamont Roach. Go ahead and knock off Lamont Roach, and then Shakur, go ahead and do your thing up in there, and then it's a wrap. We coming back in what? What we looking at? June, July. We can get it down on the same weekend that we got Spence and Crawford. That July weekend. That July 29th. Or was it June 29th? One of those J's months. It was June and July. I think it was July. But it was still
July 23rd, cuz.
23rd?
Yes.
He's he correct me on the date. I knew it was one of them 20s. But at the same time, that'd be a perfect date, perfect weekend for that.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. No reason why Shakur and Tank shouldn't fight. We need that fight next. That's the biggest fight in boxing to make outside of possibly Canelo Crawford. But, bro,
give me Tank Shakur first.
The way that Tank's moving, cuz I don't think he's gonna fight Shakur. I really don't.
No.
I feel like he's gonna end his career if he really is retiring. He's not going to have that signature fight, that signature win on his resume. And it's a shame.
He's going to let his signature win be Ryan Garcia. And that's not really saying much, with all the what we talk about with the weight draining and stuff. Regardless of the PEDs, we do know about the hydration clause. And we do know about dragging him all the way down to 135. Yeah. After I believe he actually said he couldn't even do that no more. And still made it happen anyway. I get it. When that Canelo and that Tank payday roll around, it's hard to say no. And especially when you got Edgar Berlanga out there proving that check nice. You got Frank Martin out here proving that check nice. It's just different. And then I can understand why you would be like, what, fuck it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll drain myself another 5 pounds for that payday. And still take them shots, still take them chances. You signed the contract, so like I said, I'm on both sides. Like, hey, you did weight drain me. Ryan Garcia's camp, I feel like I had a better shot if I'd have come in at my natural weight. But hey, if you don't think you could get him at 135, skills pay the bills. Don't drain yourself. Don't do it.
Yeah, but see, simple like if he did that, then you would have had that Tank Colt screaming it's duck season. That's the downfall of this sport in boxing.
So you'll fight Mario Barrios at 140 for a Reggie belt, but you won't fight Ryan Garcia for no belts at 140 for the biggest gate since a Floyd fight, but most pay-per-views since a Floyd fight, but belts don't matter. I be confused by Uncle Leo's analogy. Old Leonard Ellaby, who lucky he got me blocked, by the way, because I was finna chef his ass up on some comments he talk about. Like, sushi. I was about to dice his ass up. I couldn't even get the thumbs rolling because he had me blocked. Couldn't even reply. But again, belts don't matter. But at the same time, he'll fight Barrios for a Reggie belt at 140. But yet a fight that they anticipated, Ryan Garcia's a mega fight. It did 1 point something pay-per-view mil, 2.5 pay-per-view. Like, great gate, top all time. Like, but yet you gotta do it at 135. You can't fight him at 140. Like, that don't make sense to me. Like, when everything would have been the same. You're not gonna sit there and tell me because it was at 140 and you had a Reggie belt on the line. And even if I'm over here saying 135, that shit was a catch weight. Wasn't it? Wasn't that 136?
Well, like, you know how they show that tail of tape before the fight?
Yeah.
Like, it said 135. So it's like,
yeah.
Like, why show that if it was a catch weight to begin with?
Right. That's what I'm thinking. And you know, running back, you know, this was a while back. I don't have my receipts right in front of me and everything to just be checking. And we ain't, you know, the producers behind the crew ain't got the whole thing fact checking everything that we talk about. And it's like, well, what damn? Who did that 4 years ago, 3 years ago? Oh yeah, the claws, the hydration, all that. Like, it's just one of those. Like, now that I'm remembering, that shit was a catch weight. So there ain't no belt on the line, no way. So if you ain't got no belt on the line, back at 140 it is. And then, you know, you'd have had a more fluid Ryan Garcia. And then, you know, you could have had a Ryan Garcia that you looked at versus Haney, who he might have said that come in 2-3 pounds. Tank would have called the fight off though. He ain't trying to do that. That's why he ain't trying to do that. That's why he moving the way he is. He's not maneuvering right. And I think he gonna keep going down this road, fighting these Lamont Roaches and that.
So yeah,
and then
got pulled up right here. I mean, that tail of the tape, you know, right before the fight, right before that bell hit in the first round, 135.
That ding.
135. So, but it was a catch weight.
And I'm pretty sure that fight was a catch weight. So now you got that in your hand. So it's like, nah, that fight, all that could have went down at 140. So, but that's just how they be moving. That's them on that side. But good to see PBC coming out with a great card and working with my man Turkey on that February 22nd card. Like I think last episode or 2 episodes back, we talked about how not seeing PBC on a Riyadh season card, and now we seeing it. Changing the game, one card at a time.
Yeah.
And then now that we talking about one card at a time, let me go ahead and take time getting into Timothy Bradley real quick. Like, bro, that little video that you on your little like jog, you know, like, bro, why the energy though? If you to come at it like just maybe like how I'm speaking now, man, look, hey, I got an idea, you know, Turkey, since you doing a lot in the game, you really are doing a lot in the game. Hey, how about this? How about that? How about the union? How about that? Like this, just coming out. But boy, the energy in that video was like, man, he ain't got my respect. He really you want me to get on that side? He got to do this. He got, like, hold the phones. Like,
why Turkey got to do it? Why
Turkey got to do that?
Why can't
Al Heyman do it?
Why can't
What's
Eddie
up with
Hearn
Bob?
do that? Why
all them guys.
Why can't Ben Shalom from Boxer do? Like, why can't all these other promoters do it? But Turkey's got to do it.
Where this idea been for a while? Like, what's up? You know, but again, and he'll probably say, "Oh, we been like this. They just ain't doing." Okay, but why you got to come with that energy, as if you know? Oh, he want to prove something. He gotta, Then I'll be on your side. Then I'll be on your side. But just because he putting on a couple cards, good cards, don't mean like come on, like bro, he's beating them at their own game. He come in doing it the same, and they want to talk about money. Okay, maybe he got a bigger bankroll in these motherfuckers. Which he does. But again, you want to call a fighter's bluff. Hey, the money wasn't right. Well, hey, here's an extra couple mil that I got. Fuck it. If I lose on my return, I got what I wanted, the fight I wanted to see.
And at the same time, like Turkey's, I get it. You alluded to it earlier. He's got a bigger payroll than Bob and Eddie and Al and everybody else.
He got a bigger payroll than no. He got a bigger payroll than Top Rank. He got a bigger payroll than PBC and TGB. He got a bigger payroll than Boxer. He got a bigger payroll than Matt. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Like, not Eddie Hearn. He got a bigger payroll than Matchroom. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, even then, when he's gotten in the game, he's showing just how. I'm not gonna say pay-per-views aren't important. They are, but at the same time, like, he's putting on these cards, and they may not be selling like Tank or Canelo or whoever. But at the same time, these guys are still getting career paydays. So it's kind of showing, like, even if you think the fight's not going to do well from a pay-per-view standpoint, you can still dish out, a couple mil here or there, like give a career payday to get these guys in the ring.
Right.
And, so it's like, again, why is Turkey got to be the only one that's got to do it?
Right.
Why can't, Al Heyman do it? Why can't Bob Arum?
But for the hardcore fans, I feel like, with us getting the fights that we want, at the end of the day, it's like, that's essentially that. Ain't nobody worried about so when we say the numbers in them don't do what Tank does and don't do what Canelo does, is because them being the two faces of boxing basically bring in casuals. They bring in the people who don't watch really anybody else. But that's it. I'm just watching Tank and I'm just watching Canelo. That's it. I ain't into really nothing else. I don't care if another guy is that good. Don't tune in to Bud. Don't tune in to Bivol. Better BF. But Canelo's fighting, I'll tune in. Tank's fighting, I'm going by the homie's house, we're going to watch it. Like, that's it. That's what they bring. And you got to give them that. They the stars. They the face. But the Usyk Fury that might only do 80,000 pay-per-views or whatever, whatever, considered a flop because it's a mega fight, undisputed, against two greats that hardcore fans know is a fight we direly want to see. And we think the casual will like it because of what it means. But yet they don't tune in. But we got what we wanted. The hardcore 80,000, 100,000 fans that wanted to see it got exactly what we wanted. And it don't matter if it's Riyadh season, Top Rank, PBC come together. It don't matter. We want to see the fight. And if the casual didn't see it, fuck them. I'm supposed to be, compare fighters because the casual didn't want to see him. Ain't worry about that. Like you said, when supporters of certain fan bases start arguing about views and sales and gates, that's when they lost the argument.
Yep.
Because we're not talking about the sport anymore. We're not talking about the sweet science. Oh, I think Shakur is gonna beat Tank because defensively, jab. You start arguing about that, we could argue all day. You could be wrong. And you could be like, whatever. But if you argue the sport of boxing, then you fine with it. But once you start be like, he saw how many views Shakur had at his last fight.
Once you start pocket watching, like, that's when you've lost all credibility.
You lost argument. And they like, yeah, you lost all credibility. Especially in an argument like in the game like that. When you start arguing about something that ain't part of what you like, come on, we talking about skill and who would win in a fight. What does it matter what he sold last fight? Ain't got a hot damn thing to do with the argument of who gonna win next fight that we want to see.
Well, now the new thing is, like, it's not just the fact that they're pocket watching. Now the new thing is like that boxing Twitter wants to bitch about is how a lot of these fights aren't here in America. It's like, bro, you're not going to the fights anyways. And we even brushed up on that in the last episode. Like, Bro, I don't care if it's at MSG. I don't care if it's at T-Mobile Arena. I don't care if it's in Riyadh season, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I don't care if it's on the corner of 5th and 3rd at the liquor store. As long as we get that fight, that's all that matters. You know, when you start to bitch about, you know, where a fight's taking place, again, that just tells me, one, you lost credibility, and two, that just tells me that you don't want to see your guy get in the ring and test himself
and risk taking that L. That's it. We gotta expand that more. And you know, I mean, how he took that L and everything, you know, like, or even in like a Bivol, you can't write a Bivol off just because he lost his L. You know, you can't. Errol Spence wanted him to come back. I was actually anxious for him to come back against Fundora and win. Like, I want back to, you know, circling back to conversations we've had before, just to really pinpoint in. Resumes are built based off other resumes. And when one resume ages finely like wine, it helps another resume age like fine wine. And if Errol Spence is able to come back and beat Fundora, that looks good on Bud Crawford's resume.
That's it.
We'd be like, well, that's not on Bud Crawford's resume. Well, Errol Spence is. And after he took that ass whipping and he comes back and fights an elite champion at 154 who beat an elite level guy in Tim Tszyu, yeah, that ages pretty well on your resume. But if Errol Spence comes back, get dusted, excuse me, but if he comes back and gets dusted, then that don't look good at all. And it's like maybe Bud beat him into retirement, or maybe Errol Spence just really wasn't on that level that we thought to begin with. That's why I was really anxious to see him come back at 154 and prove himself against a champion. But now all of a sudden that fight falls through and we ain't getting that. Nah, another PBC fumble, but again, a fight we want to see.
Yeah.
You know, back to the keeping up with it. Maybe the fights ain't as soon as we want to be. They go on these hiatuses recently, these last 2 years, and they go on these 5. They only had like 3 shows last year, I think. Like, seriously, 3 or 4 shows at the most. And with that being said, the quality's been up, but the quantity's been down. And Fundora Spence was definitely a quality fight, but that needs to come around, and that then got canceled. And now you looking at
you think Spence needs to retire?
Have lined up after Tank.
You think Spence needs to retire?
No. One more, see what he got. That's it. If he's serious about it. If I got one question for Errol, if he listening, do you want to fight again, bro? You paid well. You got a beautiful life. Do you want to fight again? Do you have that will and desire to just get back in the ring and keep going? You say, yeah, I'm with you. I want to see it. Because I want to see where you at. But if you ain't got that drive, then go and hang him up for our sake and your sake. Just hang him up. So I don't know. Maybe his drive ain't there after the injuries. If his eye's injured again, nah, probably not. He ain't in it. That's it. Like Jermell, I don't know. He might be fighting Fundora next. That's probably going to be the pickup. I'm anxious to see Jermell come back, only because he was the man at 154, goes up 2, fights Canelo, survives for a payday. Okay, he's coming back down, ain't been seen since. I want to see him back at 154, maybe 160. He ain't got to go to 168 again, but I still feel Jermell can be a guy in those 2 weight classes. So,
questions.
I want to see questions that need answered. I'll take a Jermell Fundora just as much as I would have took a Spence Fundora. Rather see Spence come back, because I'm anxious to see Spence come back more after that beating. Jermell just laid down for Canelo, really. That's all he did.
Didn't even try to compete, just went in there and basically, like what you said, survived for a payday. That's it.
I think, yeah, it was much more. I really do. We can go back and dig up our conversation immediately after that, because we had fresh minds about it. That still pisses me off. He just went up in there. I really feel that it was much more of a Jamel underperformance than it was a Canelo masterclass by any stretch of the imagination.
I feel the same way, because you got to remember, before that Canelo fight, me and you loved the way that Mel was moving.
Oh, Mel's a lion. Mel's a dog.
You know,
he was going in.
It's not just the fact that we knew he was the better of the Charlo brothers, but the way he was moving, it was essentially like a throwback. You know, kind of like what Devin Haney did before Ryan Garcia. You know, okay, he avenged his loss with, what was it, Tony Harrison?
Yep.
Arguably loses to Castano, comes back, beats the brakes off him, becomes undisputed. Like, we loved the direction that he was moving in. And I legitimately thought that he had the skills to go up to 168 and actually compete.
Yeah.
But
and many of his supporters did. You know?
But he didn't even try at all.
Yeah, he did. I feel like he didn't.
There's
no action from him.
He just went in there to survive for a payday. That was it.
That's it. Yeah, timid. You could say that, or you could just say he's like, "Hey, I don't want to take no damage, especially after this huge payday."
Could be timid. You know, the brights were a little too bright for him. You know, could be, but you know, that's old news.
Yep. So, David Benavidez, Morrell, that's gonna be around the corner. Maybe before we get back on the mic again, who you got? Who you got in that showdown? Who you got in that whole card? You know, first off, Benavidez, Morrell, because then you got, like I said, Figueroa, Fulton 2. Man, that's gonna be a banger again. Pitbull back. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a hell of a good card. Shout out PBC one more again. But out of Benavidez, Morrell, start from the top.
I like Benavidez. Give me the Mexican monster. You know, I like the way he's been moving. You know, I like how he went in there, you know, beat the brakes off Caleb Plant, you know, then beats the brakes off Boo Boo. Goes up to 175. You know, he wasn't his best performance, but against a former lineal champion at 175, you know, he did what he was supposed to do. Went in there, still dominated. No, he didn't get the knockout. But then again, David Morrell, he goes up to 175 and performs just as worse. You know, if not,
just as bad.
Yeah, just as
bad, if not worse.
So I like the way that David has been moving. He's faced better quality competition in recent memory. So I just think everything
definitely that.
I think everything lines up for Benavidez. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that too. And I'm gonna go 51-49. I'm gonna go David Morrell. I'm hoping that the jab in the boxing opens it up for him. And I want to feel like he's gonna start. He'll win some early rounds, and maybe that confidence will kick in, and he'll keep boxing, and that's when I think he hopefully he starts breaking him down and getting in there and proving that he is at that elite level that early in his career, so to speak. You know, only coming in at like 10 fights, as opposed to Benavidez already got over 20. So I'm gonna go with Morrell. I'm gonna go David Morrell on this one.
Okay.
But either way, got no dog in the fight. I'm cool with it. If Benavidez win, I'm happy for him. I like to see that. I'm not gonna be mad. You know, one of those fights. You know, not gonna be mad. So go ahead and give me Morrell. And then Figueroa Fulton too. Woo! Man, that first fight was close.
Very close.
Yo.
I'm gonna go with Figueroa.
You going Figueroa?
You
think Fulton damaged goods?
Hart wants Fulton to win because, like what we alluded to earlier, you know, with resumes, if Fulton comes back, you know, puts on a performance, that looks good for my man anyway. But
yeah, who's fighting next week? Who was just on my mind?
But
because of Fulton.
I just think common sense. My brain's telling me to go with Figueroa. I just think I think he won that first fight and I just think he's the better talent, the better boxer, the better fighter. I just think he checks every box, and that's the guy I'm going with.
All right, well, my parlay is going the other way again. I'm going to go ahead and go with Fulton because I feel like that first fight was close. Definitely, you know, I could be off, but I feel like that fight had like almost 1,000 punches thrown in it. And I mean, that fight it was splitting hairs. Could have went right down the middle. And so I'm going to go with it again if he wants to get in that phone booth. But I feel like Fulton in with Inoue, training for that, getting that experience, you know, hopefully that iron sharpens iron and we see him and he comes back in a big way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm riding with my boy Fulton. I'm going to ride with him against Figueroa. So, and then Pitbull back. I like Pitbull, you know what I'm saying? I like him really against anybody. I want to see him against Tank again, top dogs, you know. He's a good boxer. I like Pitbull.
Oh yeah, I like Pitbull a lot.
You know. And then Ramos. My boy Ramos is back. I like Ramos too against I believe he's fighting Rosario. So Ramos Jr. I think didn't he lose his last fight? I think Ramos did lose his last fight if I had to go back and check properly. But still check. young fighter who I think coming up, he definitely got the goods. And Inoue fight next week too on Friday. So that's definitely gonna be coming out the woodwork left field on a Friday morning, I believe, from Japan. So that's definitely a fight need to check out because he got a late replacement too. Old buddy fighting with house money. Back to what we talking about. So Inoue could be in for a surprise, but at the same time, you know, the guy's probably not ready. Replacement, you know, it is what it is. We need to see Inoue go up to 126 and maybe take on one of them. Yeah, so we got a lot going on. So whole lot in the combat sports world, man. It's been another great episode. Been good kicking it with you, bro. You know.
Same to you, bro.
You know, we back at it again. We gonna be back soon enough. We ain't taking no long. You know, shout out to PBC because quality. You know, we quality, but we gonna come with the quantity too. So we definitely gonna be back sooner than later. Make sure y'all hit us up, like and subscribe. Hit me up on that Twitter, AG Malone, Don Malone, my boy Boxing and Bourbon. Holla at him. So it's been a good time with you, bro. Peace.